You there in the meeting?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us what did we learn in the previous class?
Ma'am, previous class I was absent.
So what are you ought to do if you were absent in the previous class?
What, ma'am?
What are you required to do if you were absent in the previous class?
Ma'am, actually I am out of my town. That's why I
All
didn't
right, David,
attend that.
you can switch your mic off. Hannah, are you there?
Yeah, hello, yes.
Yeah, Hannah, what did we do in the previous class? And I remember as far that you were there in the previous class.
Yeah. We started with the front end.
And what exactly were we doing in the front end?
The registration file.
Okay, so we were dealing with the file registration. Along with that, we have made different kind of functions, and then we have executed those functions using the HTML tags, isn't it?
Yeah, ma'am.
So before proceeding, Hannah, can you tell us why do we use this Axios?
It is used to connect the backend and the front end.
All right, great. And Harshvardhan, are you there? Harshvardhan? Karthik, are you there? Kishan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hold on, Kishan. Karthik, just switch your mic on.
Okay, ma'am.
Karthik, were you there in the previous class?
No, ma'am.
All right, switch your mic off. Kishan, you answer. Why do we use the prevent default method? This method.
Prevent default.
All right, so today we are going to proceed with our login part. So from the previous part, that is registration, we will have to import the same things. This React and all these things are going to be the same. Till this till this part. And here I will paste it. And here instead of registration, we have to provide login as the function name. And then the email, password, rest of the things will be same. Now we will make a handle function. So here, in order to make a handle function, what we are required to do is, why are we creating this handle function? So here I will write const handle login is equal to an asynchronous function which will take an event e. And here inside the function body, I will write e dot prevent default. And I have already told you in the previous class about this prevent default function. And after that, I will begin with my try catch block. Inside the try block, I will create a variable that is const res is equal to, providing an await keyword, I will write axios dot post. Here I will write http localhost, that is 5000, and then API. After that, I will provide the login as the endpoint. Why? Because here we are creating a login function so that the user can call this API endpoint in order to log in into a website through the front end. After that, we are going to mention those data which we have to pass to the website in order to log in. So here we will provide our email. Along with the email, we will provide the password. And then we are going to write local storage dot set item, and then we will write token. After that, we will write res dot data dot token. Here what we are actually doing is, as you people know, that a token is getting generated whenever the user logs into a website, right? We have seen in the backend part, whenever we were trying to log in to any website, a token was getting generated. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the name of that token? Which token were we using for the backend?
JSON web
Yes.
token.
A JSON web token. Now you people might be thinking, what do I mean by this local storage? So for those who do not know anything about this local storage, then over here, let's click on this inspect. And here, this one is the application tab. If you will click on this, you will get this local storage, inside which you will get this website, you get this website which stores all the tokens or the data that is provided inside the website. So this is what we mean by the local storage. There are the local storage, the session storage, cookies, etc. So this is how all the data can be stored inside the local storage. Understood? And local
Yes, ma'am.
storage is used in order to store our data manually. And then after the login part, we want the user to navigate to the dashboard. For that purpose, we will use the navigate function, inside which we have stored the use navigate method. So here inside navigate, I will provide the endpoint as dashboard. Why? Because I want the user to navigate to the dashboard page. So this is the much function that I want inside the try block. And if any error occurs, over there I will write set error. Inside this I will provide login failed. So here is the handle login function. After that, we will create the HTML elements. For that, we will write return, and inside the return, we will place our HTML tags. So first tag is going to be the container. And let's provide it some styling using the class name that I will provide the margin top as 5 pixel. Can you people tell me why am I writing it in this way?
Because we are using Bootstrap.
Great. We are using Bootstrap. That is why we are writing MT5. And then using the style attribute, we will provide a property of max width. Max width is equal to, the max width is going to be 400 pixels. Inside the container, I will place a header tag using h3. So previous one was the registration and this one was the login. That is why we will write login inside the header tag. After the header, I will provide an error and an alert message. And inside the alert, I will provide variant, and this one is going to be danger button. Okay, yeah. So here I will provide the error, if any error occurs for the login. After the alert button, I will provide a form tag. So inside the form tag, which tag should I provide?
On submit.
Okay, I will provide the on submit event inside the form tag, right? So on submit is the event. And to this event, I will assign the handle login function so that whenever the user submits the form, this handle login function gets executed. Inside the form tag, I will place another tag, and the name of the tag is form.group. Form.group. Inside this, I will provide the class name in order to provide some styling. So here I will provide some margin from the bottom, that is 3 pixels. Inside the form group, I will provide form.label. And why do we use the label? Come on, tell me, why do we use the label? What should we write inside this label tag?
Input
Elements
login.
want
Input
to
like-
enter.
Email.
Yeah.
Username.
So which element do I want which element should I place inside this label?
Input label.
Oh God. Which data do I want from the user while logging
Username.
in? Are you sure?
Email, ma'am. Email.
Yes. I have to provide email inside the label so that the user gets notified that the user has to provide his email. After the form.label, I will provide form.control. And here I will provide the type of the data, that is email. And then I will provide the value. And inside the value, I will store the value of the email variable. And then using the onChange event, I will write an function inside this. And this function will execute set email function that I have already mentioned over here. And this set email will target the value of the email. So for that, I have to use e.target.value. And what do I need to write over here? Like which keyword do I have to write over here if I want to make it mandatory for the user in order to provide his email? Which keyword should I write?
Required.
Required.
Great. And I will close it over here. And let's make it a self-closing tag. Done. So by now we have taken the email as the input from the user. So I will create another group to take what? What else from the user?
Password.
That's
Great.
Password.
All right. So here in place of name, I will write password. And here also the type is going to be password. And value should also be password. And here, instead of set email, I will write set password. And the rest of the things are going to be the same. And then after providing both the input values, what is the important thing that I need to provide inside the form?
Submission.
Button. Meet button.
And the type of the button is submit. And this button will have written login inside it. And finally, I will export this entire function using export default login. So by now, we have created a registration form as well as the login form. One more thing that we have to create over here is the, see, after login, to which page do I want my user to navigate?
Dashboard.
Dashboard, right? So for that purpose, we also have to design our dashboard page. So over here, I will import React. Along with that, I have to import two more hooks from React. That is the use effect hook. And then I will use the use state hook. In the previous class, I have already told you about the use state hook. Can anyone explain me why do we use the use state hook?
Because after entering any values, the change of the particular element state is changed.
Great. Oh, this use state is helpful in order to manage the state of a particular component. And now, when we will use the use effect hook, at that time, you will be able to understand why do we exactly need this use effect. And still, if you do not understand, we will take one more class for this hooks only. Understood? So you people do not need to worry. I will import the Axios again inside this file from Axios. After that, I will import container from React Bootstrap. After the dashboard, I will create a function named dashboard is equal to, inside the function body, I will write const. Inside the array, I will write message and then set message. Tell me which one is the variable and which one is the function.
Message is the
Message is
Message
the
is the set message is function.
So using the use state hook, I will initialize the value of message as the empty string, which means this message variable is having empty value inside it, inside the variable. After that, I will use the use effect hook. And using the use effect hook, I am going to create a function. Inside this, I will write const token is equal to, here I will write local storage dot get item, and here I will write token. So are you being able to understand what is happening in this line? I am creating a token variable inside which, what am I doing? I am trying to read the token which is present inside my local storage.
authentication.
Yeah. So inside the local storage, whichever token has been present inside this local storage after the user login himself inside the website, at that time, this token will take the value of the token which is present inside the local storage. And how are we getting this token? We are getting this using the get item function. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. After getting the token, I will write Axios dot get, and here I will write the URL HTTP localhost, and the port number is 5000.
3000.
Then the API. Okay, the local the port is 5000, and then the routes are API, then protected. Why are we sending the get request to the protected endpoint?
Because it is secure.
For authorization.
Okay. So after writing this URL, I will provide over here that headers. This one I will write authorization. Here I will provide using the template literal bearer followed by a $sign and the curly braces. Inside this I will provide the token that I have taken from the local storage. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So this token is the same as this variable. I mean, I am passing this variable inside this token. That is the inside this template literal. Yeah. After this, here I will write dot. Then Manish, you are required to switch your mic off. Kashiram, do you want to ask something?
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, we are data is actually localhost is 3000, ma'am.
No, it was 5,000. Localhost was 5,000 in the backend file.
Okay.
All right. So inside the dashboard, we will see like here inside this, we are checking if the token is valid. That is why we are sending the request to the protected route. As you people can see over here inside the server.js, if I am checking this route that is API protected, what we are doing, we are checking that the token is verified or not. Like it is the exact token that is being generated after the user logs in. So inside the front end as well, we are checking that we are sending the token which is stored inside the local storage to our backend using this API protected route. And if it is the same token, then it will respond with set message. So here I am calling the set message function. So what kind of message it will provide? It will provide response.data.message. And if it fails, using the dot catch method, I will provide a function which will say set message, and this message will provide access denied. Understood? Or are there any doubt till here? So are you people being able to get to understand how this use effect function is working? Even a slight idea?
Yes.
All right. After this, what we are going to do is we will pass an empty array so that this function gets executed at least for once. After this use function, we are going to place a return statement, return method. Inside the return method, I will provide the container. Using the class name, here I will provide empty5. Why am I providing empty5?
Margin.
Can you please repeat?
Margin from
Top of ma'am.
All right.
of the page.
Inside the container, I am going to provide a header, that is h2. Inside the header, I will provide the message. Understood? The message that is being generated inside the use effect hook, the same message I am displaying inside the header, which is why I have placed this header inside the container and I have placed this container inside the return method. Any doubt till here?
No, ma'am.
And the last thing that is left to do is
Export the file.
Export.
All right. Export default dashboard. We'll save it again. And now we will go to our protected routes. So inside the protected route, we will check. We will check what? Let's see what we are going to check. So here I will import the same thing, React from React. And then I will also import the navigate from React Router DOM. And here I will write a function that is const protected route. Is equal to, here I will pass children. This one should be a small c. And I will tell you about the children in the next class. Like, you have to understand what do we exactly mean by this children. Here I will write const token is equal to, here I will write local storage dot get item. And here I am again taking the value of the token from the local storage. If I am taking the value of token, then I must have some kind of task to perform with the token. So what kind of task is that? Here I will check return token. And I will place this one. What do we call this?
Ternary operator.
All right. And how does this work?
It's works like a conditional statements by using colon.
Great. So here, if the token is true, then children will be passed. Otherwise, if it is false, then I will use the navigate following the attribute, that is to attribute. And here I will pass an endpoint. And the endpoint is going to be login, which means this will get redirected to the login page. And here finally, I will export this protected route function using export default protected route. Slow down for a while. All right. So after exporting the protected route, I will save it. Now moving to the app.jsx. We'll go to the app.jsx. Here I will import three things, that is browser router. Along with that, I will import the routes. And then I will import route. So from the name, you people can get an idea. That is, I'm first importing the routes and then I'm importing the route, right? So this means that I have to provide a route stack in the beginning. Understood? And inside this route stack, I am going to place the different routes that I have created. What are the different routes? That is the registration route, the login route, etc. using the route tag. And you will get to know it in a better way if I will write it. So here I am importing the login function. And after the login, I will import the registration. It's register. And after the register, I will also import the dashboard. And after the dashboard, what else is left? Protected route. That's it. Here I will create a function. And that function's name is app. Inside the function body, I will write return. And here I am going to render all these things that I have created. So how am I going to render it? At first, I will place the browser router tag. Inside this browser router, I am going to place the routes tag, as I have told you people. And inside the routes tag, I will provide different routes that I have imported. That is the login, register, and dashboard. So here, my first route is using the route tag. The attributes of the route tag are path. Using the path, I will declare the path of this login
कहाँ से
page.
पहुंचाया था सीरीज को?
Guys, don't you have these basic sense that whenever someone, if you are present inside a meeting, you have to switch your mics off? How many times do I need to explain the same thing to you people? From next time onwards, if anyone opens their mic inside the meeting without me asking any kind of question, I will directly remove them from the meeting. So here, using the path attribute, I will provide the API endpoint for the login, that is login. After providing the path, using the element attribute, I will provide what? I am going to render the login function that I have imported. And this one is going to be the self-closing tag. This is how, if the user is providing the path as login, then the element that will be provided to the user is the login element. That is the login page. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Similarly, I will create two more routes. Second route and the third route. So here inside the path, if the path is empty, then the user will be provided the register page. So for that, inside the element, I will write register. And then if the endpoint is dashboard, then which element will be provided to the user?
Dashboard.
All right. All right. So if the API endpoint is dashboard, then inside the protected route, we will place the dashboard, which is why we have to render this inside this protected route tag. And here, let's remove this dashboard from here, copy it, and paste it. Which means the dashboard is rendered inside the protected route. Which means what? When the user will try to access this dashboard API endpoint, then at first the protected route will get checked. And inside the protected route, it will see if the token is valid or not. And if the token is valid, only then the dashboard will be provided to the user. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And finally, I will export this one as well. Export default app. And then I will save it. Coming on to the main.jsx. So inside this main.jsx, if you are using React Bootstrap, over there you people are required to have this inside your main.jsx, without which the React Bootstrap is not going to work. So by now we have created the front end for the user's registration and login. And also using the Axios, we are integrating it with the backend. And this is our backend file, where we have mentioned the routes as well as the logic for register, login, and protected route. For register, we need registration. We need the same thing, that is email and password. For the login as well, we need the email and password. And here for the protected route, we have used or we have provided the logic in order to check the protected content. So here, in order to check them, let's see the output. I will go to the terminal and I will split this terminal into two sections. So here I will navigate to the directory front end. So I have got this. Now I am placed inside this front end directory, and in this part I will navigate to the back end directory. So here, in order to run our front end, we have to write npm run dev. And then in order to run our back end, what do we have to write?
Node.
Node server.
Okay. But inside the package.json file, I have not installed the nodemon. That is why I can also write node server.js. All right. Let's click on this. Okay, so here you people can see a register form. Here we have to provide an email. Say for example, I'm providing johndoe@gmail.com and the password is this. And here I'm providing registration. It is providing registration failed. Let's see. Okay, this is already present inside the MongoDB. So let's delete it from there. Okay, let's remove it. Let's try to register this again. So I have already registered it. In order to log in, I have to provide the same email and password. That is, are you being able to see that I am being navigated to the dashboard?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And here, if you want to check the local storage, here you can go over here and you people can see that the token is being stored inside the local storage. Understood? This one is the token. And this exact token is being received by the front end. Got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Or are there any doubts with the previous, any of the code?
Ma'am,
No, ma'am.
hello.
Yeah.
Ma'am, isn't bearer token should be protected? Like,
Can
bearer
you please
token.
repeat your query?
Shouldn't bearer token be protected? Like secure, no, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what we have done, right? See,
Like in local storage, it's showing token, ma'am.
yeah, see, inside the local storage, what we are storing? Bearer is the prefix. What did I tell you people in the previous class? That bearer is the prefix. And we need only the token, except the bearer, in order to check whether we are we are provide the access to the different kind of controllers or the routes, which is why we have to remove that bearer and just have to work with the token, which is why we are storing only the token inside the local storage. Are you getting my point? See, this token only is being stored inside the local storage. This one is the token that has been generated.
Okay, ma'am.
In the front end as well, if you see, so here we have written that local storage dot set item, using the set item function, we are providing the token as the name, and then we are providing it the token from the data. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is how we connect our front end with the back end. And if you are facing any kind of issues in order to understand the hooks and in order to understand what this children is, then you do not have to worry. We will learn more about it in the next classes. It was just to show you how we connect our backend with the front end in order to provide the data using the front end. Why? Because till now we were passing the data using Postman, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But during the making of website, you do not want your user to provide the data using Postman. So the user only has the front end to send his data, which is why we are creating a front end and integrating our front end with the back end in order to enable the user to send his requests. Got it?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
How tokens is stored in our application sections of browsers?
How token is stored where?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain what do you want to ask? Like, I just understood how the token is stored, but you were also asking that where the token is stored. Is that so?
No, ma'am. How the tokens is stored?
How the token stores as it? The token is generated right after the user logs in.
ओके मैम, तो इसे मतलब कि ब्राउजर सेक्शन में हम लोग मतलब क्यों स्टोर कर रहे हैं? ये तो मतलब डेटा की प्राइवेसी भी लीक कर सकता है.
Yeah, but this time we are setting the token inside the local storage. But if you do not want to store the token inside the local storage, then you can remove this entire line as well. Getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's not necessary for you people in order to store your token inside the local storage. I was just trying to show you how things work. That is why I have stored the token inside the local storage. And one more thing that that is the advantage of storing these things inside the local storage is that, say for example, if you are refreshing the web page, is this being vanished?
No, ma'am. Actually,
No, ma'am.
it can be achieved by
No,
using
right?
sessions.
Just listen to me at first. So is this content being vanished? No, right? Why? Because we have stored the token inside this local storage. So whichever data that we are storing inside the local storage will continue to persist inside the web page even if the web page is refreshed.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Any
Ma'am.
other doubt?
But it can be also
Ma'am.
achieved by your sessions.
Yeah, it can be achieved by that.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, if I want to store my data in like in the server side, so what changes occurs in my website, like when you are showing that in console local for storage for local storage website. If I want to store my data on server side, so what will change?
I'm not getting your point, Abhijit. What are you trying to ask? Can you please explain me briefly, like what exactly is your problem?
Ma'am, I want to say that
Abhijit, your voice is cracking a lot. Hello.
Uh,
You're not audible, Abhijit, properly. If you're not being and dot file name, root file name, so what is the reason? One dot and two dot. Okay, so is this what you want to question? You can write your query in the comments in the text box as well. Just write it inside the message box. I'm sure user model code also. Here is the user model code, inside which I have provided only the email and password.
hello, ma'am.
Yeah, Abhijit.
I want to say that if you are already told that if for the testing purpose, we are storing our data on the local storage. So if I want to store our data on the server side, so what which type of changes will occur on our website?
What type of data do you want to store in your server?
Anything like, for example, I want to ask for my doubt only. Anything like a username, password,
Yeah.
contact number, locality, like that.
So you want to store it where?
On like
See the data.
Netlify,
See, one thing.
AWS.
Listen to me. Listen to me at first. In order to store a data, you can, Abhijit, you can switch your mic off because I'm being able to listen my voice again.
Okay.
See, whenever you want to store some kind of data, there are two types. What are they? Either you can store the data manually inside the MongoDB, right? And then you can pass any data from the front end in order to store inside the MongoDB. That is what the purpose of using the database is. And here I have stored the data, that is it's not the data actually, it's the token. I have stored the token inside the local storage in order to check whether the token that is being provided by the backend is equal to the in order to check if the token that is provided by the backend. Why are we checking the token? Because this token has the details of the user encrypted in a particular format. So this type of encryption rectifies whether the user who is trying to log in matches with the user's data that is present inside my MongoDB database. So that is why I am storing this token inside the local storage. And that too, that if I will refresh this web page, my content should not get erased from the web page. That is why I am storing this local token inside the local storage. Like, let me show you one thing. All right, so this is my e-commerce website. So here I want to sign into the web page. So let's provide the login. And if I have not logged in, I can go to the register page. Here I can provide the name, John Doe, etc., role as the user, and then I can set the password as, and then register. User is already existing, so let's change it to Jane Doe. So let's refresh this. So using the login, I will log in using Jane Doe. So let's check what is being stored inside the local storage. Are you people being able to see that this is the entire data that I am storing inside the local storage? And even if I will refresh the web page, then the data is not being erased. Getting my point? Why is it not being erased? Because I have stored this data inside the local storage. Say for example, if I remove this, and then I'm removing this token as well, and I am removing this as well. And if I close it, and then if I refresh the page, are you people being able to see Jane Doe over here?
Yes.
So now are you being able to understand why we are storing the data inside the local storage?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Any further doubt? Your app has been crashed, Shweta. Ma'am, Node1 server.js. Press enter, error will occur. App crash. What do you want to say? There might have occurred some kind of issue in your backend, I guess. And until and unless you are not going to show, provide me your code, I will not be able to help you with it. Ma'am, what is used if we want our navbar should be refreshed on login. Meet, I'm not being able to get your question, dear. Can you please explain briefly what do you want to ask?
Actually, I am like working on the website that it had come problem when I log in that login register button is still appear, but I don't want to appear there. Like I have updated, I have put the conditions also there, but it's like we have to refresh our website. Like I don't want to refresh; it just automatically updated that, like refresh by its own self.
So what is the problem over there?
So, ma'am, my question was like, what function or what thing is used in front end that it will automatically update itself, like in the new bar?
You want to update it to what?
Like, ma'am, if I'm login in the website, then it is automatically updated, and the login and register button will not show, and it is show like user profile. Like,
All right. So you want to show the user's name in place of the login button, right?
yeah, but like without refreshing the website.
Okay. Let's show you. So here you people can see that it will place a condition on that button, that is the sign in button that I have done over here. That the model is the top login, and then we are checking that I have placed a handle login function. Understood? And here inside the handle login function, what did I do? I have taken all the things from the local host. That is the method, headers, body, and credentials, right? So that whenever the user will try to press on the sign in button, this handle login function will get triggered over there. Clear till this much?
Yes, ma'am.
After that, what will happen? I have provided the model's body that continue with Google. Hold on for a while.
Ma'am, I have put this condition also, but the problem is like every time I have to refresh my website to get those buttons. That's why.
To get the buttons, right? So
Yes.
over there, just store it inside the local storage.
Ma'am, I'm using the buttons for the functions like login, register, logout. Like if I log in, then it if we didn't refresh our website, then it's still showing the login button. Like if I refresh my website, then it shows me the logout button. So why should we refresh? Like we use the use effect, but like how to use that and which function we should put in the use effect so that login register button converts into logout button.
So you have to check over there. Like say for example, your name is being visible over there in place of the sign in button. And if you are clicking on your name, then you should provide a drop down over there so that you can get a logout button. You're getting my point. And you can place a condition of over there that if the user has already been logged in inside the website, and you can place the login function in the condition using the ternary operator. If the user is logged in, then at the first statement, provide the logout.
Yeah, ma'am, I have used, but like it's like use effect is sometimes not working. Like it's not automatically refresh the new bar. That's why. Because I'm also
Do
using the
one thing.
lazy loading also.
Okay, me do one thing. Send me your entire code and then let me check what you have done.
Ma'am, it's actually my project code. That's why I can't like show it here because of project. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can send me the entire code. You can send it to the support team and ask them to provide it to me.
Okay, ma'am, and I will also sure try to solve this error by today, or I will send the code.
Yeah.
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, Omkar.
Ma'am, just like Meet Mehta, I also got this same error when I was doing. So when I asked ChatGPT how to solve this error, then he just told me that make another file name as context user in component folder and then wrap that context file somewhere in the login.js. Then my error got solved, I think.
So, do you know how that context works?
I think,
Yeah,
ma'am, it
it
is
work
just
like ma'am
local storage.
middleware only.
Local storage update, ma'am, I think. I'm also not getting, but my error got solved, ma'am.
See, the context that works is it it eliminates the props drilling, and you will now think what is the prop drilling. So, whenever you want to pass some data from one file to another file, over there we are not using props anymore. We are using the context. So, what is happening? Using that use context, we are passing the data from one file to another file, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. But like we can't use in the use effect, or if we check like if the user like we have like a rule based login because of authorization, that if we used login, then it should be like if it check the token and it check the rule, then it should be update automatically, no, ma'am. Then why should we use context also? Because I worked previously on these projects. That's why.
Okay, let's send the entire code to me and then I will check. Understood.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, everyone. It's already 8. If people have any more queries, then you can ask, or else people can just submit it.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, Kishan.
Ma'am, actually, when we go to the Amazon websites, and we can simply add without logins, we can simply able to add something in a card. How is it possible?
So in order to add something inside the class, like if you want to implement in your website, then do not mention the condition over that. If the user wants to log anything inside the card, then the user is not required to log in inside the website.
Yes, ma'am. Well, and we and ma'am, if we refresh the page and this this thing as it is from the previous or the previous one, and how is it possible?
Can you please repeat the question? If you refresh the page, then what?
If we refresh the page, then whatever you added in your card is same as it is.
So over there,
That
what
is
you have
clean.
to do is, yeah, use React Persist over there.
Okay.
Yeah. And in the next class, I will also show you people how to use the React Persist in order to store this data inside your website, so that whenever you refresh the website, over there your data is not lost. All right, everyone. Should we have to use both functionality, JWT and Google, or we can use just JWT only? Sandeep, you have to use both the JWT authentication and the Google authentication. Yeah, you can use the tailwind as well.